Today I'm going to be making something really yummy, and this is my mini vanilla rainbow birthday cake. So let's get on with the ingredients. A half a cup of granulated sugar, a half a cup of milk, 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour, a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of vanilla, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We're also going to be using food coloring later on in this recipe. So those are the ingredients, so let's get started. So my first step, I'm going to get all of my sugar in there, my vegetable oil, and then I'm just going to start mixing this up. Then I'll add in my egg, and that's going to help cream this up. Then my vanilla, all of my salt, and then I'm going to start pouring in a little bit of my milk just to loosen that up. And then I'm going to sift in some of my flour. So I've got the flour here and my baking powder. Just get that on there. I'll just give a little bit of that like that. We'll mix this in. Then a little bit more milk. The rest of the flour and that baking powder. And then the last little bit of milk. And that completes the actual batter part of this recipe. So I've got 3 bowls here, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to separate our batter into these 3 bowls. Okay, that's pretty good. So here's where the fun begins. I have 3 little things of food coloring here. I've got a green, a yellow, and a red, and I'm just going to take a little bit of each and start mixing it in to each one of these. The yellow and our green. So if you have kids, make sure to include them on this step because this is really fun for them. And not only is this cake batter going to look nice, but it also tastes very nice as well. So I have my little mini cake tin here. It's 6.5 inches in diameter by 3 inches high. So at the bottom here, what you see is a little piece of parchment paper that is in the bottom. I'm going to grab my first color, and you want to start that right in the middle and just slowly pour that. And don't over pour because it's going to really start to spread out very quickly. Just watch it as it goes. Okay, that's good. Once that's gone to the edges, I'm ready for the next color. And you can do whatever color you like. I'm going to go with the yellow and just slowly pour it. Now you see what's happening here? I don't want it. I'm not going to use all of the batter here. Okay, maybe a little bit more. I'm just watching it because it will continue to spread after you stop pouring, so just be very careful. Because if you pour and both colors, you know, go right to the end, then you're not going to get that effect. And then our last color, right in the middle again, very slowly. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying, well, you have batter left over. Well, off camera, I'm going to be making some other ones in another tin, but I'm going to be using this same technique. And I like that just like that. So at this point, I'm going to pop this into my 350-degree oven, and I'll show you the final product when it's baked. And when you're taking it to the oven, make sure that you don't move it around too much. Okay, here's my baked cake. I baked it for a total of 22 minutes at that 350-degree mark. It's extremely hot right now. I'm just going to let it cool down a little bit. I'll unmold it, and then I'll come back when it's completely cool. So at this point, I'm just going to cut the top off because I do like to have a nice flat surface to the top of my cake. Look at that, doesn't that look nice inside? So at this point right here, you could take your knife and go right through the cake again and put some icing on the inside, but since this cake is very, very thin, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave it like that and we're going to cover it with a beautiful chocolate ganache. So that's our next step. Okay, I have set up, and what I have here is my chocolate ganache. I have a few of these recipes on my channel, so if you know my recipes, you'll know how to make this, or what you can do is just simply search my channel for chocolate ganache and you'll see a recipe there for that. So I'm just going to grab some of this now. And what I have here is I have a piece of parchment paper so that I can catch any of my drippings and then I can reuse those. So you just kind of center that in there. You can use wax paper as well for this. And I'm just going to take my ganache and I'm just going to pour that right over the top. And if your ganache is warm enough, you're going to have no problem doing this. This is just going to pour right off. And you can just kind of do this, you know, like you would be putting sauce on a pizza. You can just kind of do that. I'm going to add a little bit more on here. And you just give it a little bit of a, you know, helping hand. Just like that. I'll put a little more on here. I just want to make sure that I get all of the edges. And what's nice about parchment or wax paper is that you just can, you know, lift this up, put it into the fridge, and that'll just peel right off. Now I'm just going to check all my edges to make sure that I got everything there. That looks pretty good. And that looks perfect, just like that. If this cake is for a child, to make it a little bit more fun, I have some little rainbow stars. And you can just take a few of these, and before the chocolate actually sets, just get those on there. It just makes the cake a little bit more fun. And this is going to look really, really magical to a child with all these little extra stars on there. And then if it's a birthday cake like this one is, I'm just going to get a candle and get that right in there. So now I am going to pop this into my fridge because I really want to let this chill down. So we've come to the part of the video where we're actually going to cut into our beautiful rainbow birthday cake. And I'm just going to get my knife here. And we'll just do a nice little slice. I just want to make sure I get a nice slice. And here it comes. A really, really fun cake. You know, this is for kids. But there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. That's it for now. Please subscribe if you wish. Please thumbs up if you wish as well. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's it for this video, and I'll see you next time.